but we have a very slow game outside of that, though. We have the most exciting. We have the pinnacle of League of Legends in the mid lane. We have the Corki versus Azir.
So good.
I know how excited you are about it. I'm going to need to clear out the remainder of the fight. On the flip side, though, Jace, Trundle, Corki, Xayah, and Alistar. This team composition wants to be able to go late with the flexibility in terms of the Corki and the Xayah, but no stranger to accelerating if the Jace does manage to get ahead. They're very similar in nature. We're in for a long game.
We're in for a fun one, no doubt. Game number 1, SKT versus Afreeca. Well. All right, they fit that one in there.
It's still really weird. Oh, look at Tanner.
Tanner.
Can never really quite
Tanner.
get enough.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's having fun.
I wonder what his chauffeur thinks every time he has to get into the action. Look at him. So majestic, the way that he just defies gravity. NASA hates him. I'll tell you that much.
How does he keep floating with just the 2 wings?
Don't ask questions that our feeble minds can't quite understand here.
We can't even come close.
Yeah, we really can't. Just give it up.
Level, yeah, at which he's at.
Oh my! And remember his flatulence. You know, it's quite.
It's magical.
It really is. I mean, did you see the stars coming out of his behind?
Yeah. No, don't worry. I was.
They call Aurelian Soul the Star Forger, but not quite. Oh, Tanner. All right, so
we had Predator here on Trundle. Not to cut you off, but we did have that on screen for just a moment. And how about Electrocute Corki? You don't see that all the time. You know, you see a lot of fleet footwork, and the Electrocute's going to be pretty good if you want to take aggressive trades. And it seems like he's coming into the mid lane and just saying, "This is my lane." We'll see if that works out.
Well, the Electrocute will help him trade more effectively against the Azir. You obviously don't want to do the Kleptomancy Corki in this particular matchup. And looking across the map, Scorch being picked up by Keen, which is always a surprising rune. I've talked about it several times on cast. Go into a sandbox mode and see how
coup de grace.
Applicable.
4 of them.
It really is.
On the side of SKT. They're going for the kills this game, no doubt.
And this game really is about snowballing on the top side and just going even and having stalemates on the bottom side. So, nice Electrocute proc right there by UCal. It's also Doran's ring start with double potion against Corrupting. So the sustain war is going to go the side of UCal, despite both of them having teleport available. And elsewhere on the map, we're not going to get too much action. Both the junglers are just full clearing. And then it's going to come down to, is a gank going to happen up in top lane? What's the priority? Stay in the middle lane. Nothing's happening. Sejuani, she's going to be able to go over to left-hand side, find the Scuttle Crab. Remember, Azir has Prio right here. I don't know what Dread's thinking, but if Khan messes up, he could die. Pillar.
Yeah, I guess the Pillar, he's on the wrong side, though. Yeah.
That's a really hard spell to use, the Pillar on Trundle. It really does actually take a lot of practice to get good and know exactly how it's always going to interact, but also how to get the pins against terrain with it. Ooh, there's no ward up here. Keen has to be really careful. Oh, Keen.
Yeah, but he's smart top laner, you know?
Yeah, he is.
He knows what he's doing.
He's very...
Other guys would have just, you know, sat in the top lane, maybe pushed a little bit, maybe tried to take a trade, and then they would have died. But not Keen.
Yeah. And also, in the meantime, Sennen and Aiming, they converted their lane pressure into the Scuttle Crab capture on the right-hand side. You know, I just love the amount of sustain in League of Legends right now. I love the Summoner spell, Teleport. I love how everyone has biscuits and potions, Doran shields, and really just makes me feel warm inside.
Yeah.
Valdez, I really enjoy it.
I'm sure they feel warm too. chugging all those potions as Effort might just die here. Let's see how this works. Predator is going to come on in. Going to have to use that flash, and he's actually totally fine. As Trundle not quite able to do enough to stop that dash.
And you know, Dread, he doesn't really have too much to do because all those rubber band camps are coming up, and then he's just going to do a straight path, bottom to top. And it's really on the laners here to manipulate their lane state. So right now, for instance, if you're Keen, if you can somehow keep the lane in this exact location by the time Trundle finishes his golem camp and everything, then it would be really good. And then obviously if you're Khan, you know that, well, Trundle is pathing up to top lane. I need to get the crash on this wave so that I can pull in the next 2.5 waves to my side of the lane and basically be gank immune. But he also has to toe the line where he keeps the line thin enough to where Keen and Dread cannot coordinate a gank or a dive onto Kennen. And so right now,
yeah,
the teleport coming in top lane, this is going to be a part of that little mini game. We can't quite see the top lane state. We have an Azir versus Corki on our screen, but let's be honest, no one's dying. And it looks like actually Keen is going to be slow pushing the wave. He's going to take a big trade on Khan.
Khan goes in for the stun and actually will stick around, but Keen trying to push him, and he gets the little lip of the shock blast. Just barely clips him before Khan even knows what's happening. Doesn't even flash away from that one. The AoE just a bit too large.
That was very, very big AoE. And Dread now coming in. Keen's here too. Shock Blast actually is good. They're going to get Scuttle Crab. So, top lane, we mentioned the volatility of the matchup. And Keen now with that first blood on Jace is going to be really good. Just take a look at this. He pounces during Khan's animation. Slicing Maelstrom comes out. Keen isn't even level 6, but right at the very edge of it, and then just take a look at that AoE.
Yeah.
And he instantly shoves in the wave. And now, the trade, even if he doesn't get the kill on Khan, Trundle is in such a good location, and the wave is building up so well post-Khan teleport that they can threaten to coordinate a dive. It's a very uncomfortable situation. But fortunately for Afreeca, Keen just gets the solo kill instead. Also, Serrated Dirk, first item of choice. Not going to be the Black Cleaver.
We'll see how many Dirks he picks up this game. Just one in his items for now. But, yeah, I mean, Keen seems to be back, at least, for the beginning of this game.
A little bit surprising he actually cleared out the entire wave right there. He knows that Sejuani has option to come top, but given that he still has Flash available, it would still be pretty hard to pull off. And then once Corki has the blue and has Cryo in mid lane, it's very easy to tell what would be going on around the left-hand side, especially given their current vision control. They have the Scuttle Crab, they have a control ward on left side river. And you can see that Sedge is... she's waiting patiently, okay? Valdez.
Yeah,
She's
no,
gonna,
I didn't say
hold on,
anything.
you just wait for her. Hold on.
Don't worry, I'm not getting my hopes up.
500 Days of Summer, okay?
Is that like a movie?
I think that was a movie, yeah. I don't think I watched it. It just popped into my head, though.
One of those rom-coms?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Alright, so Clit ended up not doing anything right there. Mountain Dragon has been started. Neither top laner has teleport, but Tanner with first action to River.
We all know Tanner's got a package here,
Yeah.
and he wants to show it off. And that's why SKT, they're a bit scared of the guy, right? He's pretty popular. You don't want to, get under his skin. And so they're just going to let him have it, which is pretty nice. Good start on the Mountain Drake here for Afreeca. A first blood, a first Drake, and farming in the mid lane.
Very nice. Very nice.
You like that
situation.
transition?
I really did. I do believe that they are excellent farmers.
I'm trying to, stay on topic
Yeah.
here. I don't,
You don't like to go off topic by
I don't want to do too much.
I can tell.
As we're going in here, but Senden just going to pop that ultimate. Thinking about going for a counter engage, but...
Looks like they read that. They read that the movement from Teddy was not natural, and that something was awry. There's no way that a Kai'Sa would just kite that way if that was a realistic trade.
Yeah, it's a great read.
So they sniff out that Glid is there.
And now we're going to try to invade here, but we got Sejuani coming up the river with the Azir trying to burst this one down, and Dread will be able to sneak that one away. So just a small little steal. We almost had some action there. Got close to a little bit of fighting, but not quite. Not yet in this game. We have to wait, LS.
Yeah, how much longer, Felix? Tell me. The numbers, what do they mean?
Okay, let me take a look here.
Yeah, give me a quick crunch here.
Says here at about 18:30.
Okay.
We're gonna have a pretty big fight. So around that time, give or take 10 minutes. It's kind of hard to force.
They stopped giving me the script.
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah.
You kept spoiling it, so they wanted to give some other guys here on the desk a chance.
Yeah.
To look smart,
So they got the Rift Herald, but Pillar comes out. Alistar misses.
Yeah, Glid actually has to flash away from that one. A slicing Maelstrom used defensively here. They know it's not time on the script. They gotta wait.
Yeah.
Not a lot to fight before, Riot gives them the go-ahead in this game.
Well, meanwhile, Jace was busy getting Thanos right there. I wasn't quite sure what that was. He was just bugging out. Was that only on my monitor? Or was that on yours?
I don't know. I was looking at the cannon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
He does have quite a nice suit, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's giving Spider-Man a run for his money. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Understandable.
It's hard not to look at the cannon for
definitely.
me. Yeah.
Slow down there.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their preferences.
Yeah.
Nothing to be ashamed about.
Yours is ninja suited up squirrels?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Without getting into too much detail, of course.
I won't tell anyone, don't worry.
Yeah, nobody's watching this.
Resident sleeper. All right.
Khan has a item that allows him to sustain even longer, as Jace is really good at taking trades, and Khan does have to be careful here. Gonna dodge that one. Keen took an extra shot from the turret. We're threatening it, but once again, another missed shock blast here, which does mean that Keen won't be able to pick up that kill.
And in this current game, I mean, we have an open dragon coming up in a minute, but for the most part, not too much action. We're going to have the Rift Herald spawned here in mid lane. Oh, no. Okay. Wait.
Yeah, Faker got those.
Yeah, Faker, but it said plus 160 on top, right? Didn't Shelly just get more, though?
Yes, she got 2, I believe.
I thought she got 2.
Although, maybe it was cut off right before the third one went down.
Okay.
And because he had just taken the first turret plate, and I think she does just barely under 2 turret plates of damage. So I think he was in range for the first one when Shelly hit, but then the minions did extra damage after that, after he was out of range, and he didn't pick up that gold.
Well,
I'm an expert on these things.
Okay.
Yeah.
An expert on turret plates. I got it.
Yeah. That was actually a great sneak. Keen has no idea.
Oh, man.
As that is a really scary piggy from the brush. There's no hope for Keen to get out of that one. Glid is a sneaky snake, and he's going to be able to get the big reward for that kill as he just sidles by the one ward that was too far down the lane and is able to catch Keen by surprise.
Gets them by surprise, and they're going to be able to convert that into turret plates at a much-needed time here in top lane. All the pressure relief ends up coming in. Open Dragon is available, but we'll have to see if either team actually wants to commit to getting it.
He just TP topside.
Seems like Afreeca wants it. And SKT, they're not interested in contesting. And so now Cloud Dragon will end up coming up next. And it will be a little bit more useful for Afreeca than it would be for SKT. mostly just for the Jace and the Trundle movement, as well as the Corki. Perhaps when he's trying to rotate in the later stages of the game. The Azir getting a lot of chip damage on that turret.
You notice the TP that Keen did allowed him to get a gigantic chunk onto the top turret. So take a look at the pathing here. Right through that tiny little piece of shadow. This guy knows his stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, Keen was almost sniffing it out, as surprising as that is. Tries to knock back Khan. Ends up going down in the end anyway. And now both top laners, they're back up there. And we're going to have a little bit of ping pong happening for the next couple of minutes.
I do like that Keen did not flash. You know, there was like a couple of seconds where he could have thought about it, but eventually he was just like, nah, I mean, they got me, you know. Not much I can do. I'm not going to survive here.
And at this point, though, lane phase is not necessarily over, even though there are definitely some turrets that have been taking a bit of a beating. Sennen and Dread coming up to top lane here, but they're not going to look for anything. But people are wondering, why does this happen so often in the LCK? Why do the lanes last as long as they do? Why do turrets not go down? Why is there not a ton of action? It's mostly because the players are always playing in a way that makes it pretty difficult.
All right, Afreeca, they're angry. They're all coming up to the top side, but in fact, not quite able to force a fight there. As again, Trundle doesn't quite have the same kind of hard CC that Sejuani does. And now everybody's coming up to the top side except aiming. So SKT want to force a 4v5 here.
Oh, man.
Already a ton of damage, but Effort not really going to be able to land anything, and he goes down by himself. Faker also going to whiff on the top side as everybody, I'd suggest just closing your eyes, pretend you didn't see that one. As it was looking so good. It was a 5v4. They had it all set up, and still they were not able to make it happen. Faker has his teleport interrupted. Oh, no. As now we're just trying to save him here. Faker does a lot of damage, but is going to be forced to flash. Dread over the wall.
Whoa, lots of errors by both parties.
Yeah, this is a dirty one right now, as Dread is going to be going down here, too. He wanted to get down and dirty, did not actually pay off for him, as Keen was minding his own business, taking out the turret, and aiming, took out the bottom turret.
So right now, in this lane state right here, SK Telecom, they lose 2 turrets, but they pick up some kills. I'm going to take a look at it one more time. Faker doing a lot of damage with his Sand Soldiers onto Sennen and Dread. And then you can see Effort, he goes and he whiffs on everything, knocked up by Sennen, and Yucal just pops him. Faker misses on the Shurima Shuffle. Keen headed back up to top lane. Dread comes back in. Casts the pillar, interrupts Faker's channel. And then right here, Yucal goes over the wall via the Valkyrie. Klid's right there, so he knew that it was coming. He flashes right back out. Dread flashes over, but doesn't have the damage to kill Faker. And then Klid, right at the very end here, you can see Faker's Sand Soldiers would have been enough, but Klid for some reason flashed, not sure why.
It's a Trundle. He's not going to dash the wall, you know?
No, he's not.
Imagine if you could pillar yourself to push yourself over the wall.
That'd be a Trundle buff.
That would be nice. I mean, it makes sense, right?
That would give him.
Why wouldn't he be able to knock himself up?
So,
let's add that to the game.
Yeah. As we resume to live, though, core items are completed mostly across the board. Azir going to be waiting a little bit for his second one. And as we are continuing to scale, this game is going to get easier and easier for SK Telecom as it draws on. Mostly because the Kai'Sa is such an easy answer to the way that Afreeca wants to conduct themselves. One thing that Afreeca has going for them, though, is the Mountain Drake with the Ocean Dragon. And so, at certain points of the game, Baron can become a little bit different due to the augmented damage. But we're gonna clear out wards for a little while, okay?
Yeah, we're not ready to take any big strides in this one, you know, just building up our economies. We don't want to start any wars just yet. As, well, Senin has a different idea. Afreeca going to start the play here against Senin. Is going to be forced to blow that ultimate, but was it too little too late? He's got a stopwatch too. As actually, Faker's going to get some soldiers in there and take him out, so nicely done. Senin a little bit late on that ultimate, I believe, as he just took way too much damage before it even got started here. UCal with the package, you can see he's thinking about starting something up here. But now it is 4v5 in favor of SKT, who are looking to make use of their advantage to take the streak.
Yeah, and Dread gets chipped a little bit. Now, Clown Dragon, not the biggest pickup in the world. It's still a minor victory. If they can roll a second one, that would be nice. Take it. Couldn't play. All right, second one has been rolled.
Yeah. Cloud Drake allows you to get around the map a bit easier. I feel like in terms of actual battle stats, it's not going to make too much of a difference, especially with summoners up. But we'll take another look here at Senin and how late he ults.
Senin ult pretty late. He gets locked up by pretty much everything. Don't know why he would elect a stopwatch. There's no universe really where he's going to be able to live and get away from there. And now Faker, he could free. Sorry.
The answer is no.
How about no, Scott?
Yeah.
You know?
Khan, we got 4 people trying to kill him. He gets a really nice blast with Dread. Oh, it's not going to go the right way. And Cannon's going to get away here as SKT, with 4 members going to the bot lane to kill one tiny little squirrel. We're going to have this Baron going down here as Senin is going to be
they're too late.
Dread is just too far out of here. That shock blast not going to do enough, and SKT with the good read, and Khan even gets away to add insult to injury. SKT with a very big win to take that Baron down.
And Afreeca, they're quick to try to respond and do damage control. They're clearing out minion waves so that SK Telecom doesn't have Barons to buff. But we take a look at it one more time. I thought for sure he would be dead, but Dread kept running south rather than just diverging west to do the cutoff point, because there was nowhere else for Khan to run to. And just look at this, the TP being channeled. Teddy tries to add as much damage as he possibly can. He flashes actually onto Senin. A little bit surprising. Didn't have lethal. Bit of a blunder right there, but nonetheless. And then they made the call to get the Baron, and now the question becomes, what can they do with the Baron? Interestingly enough, Faker picks up an Oblivion Orb, even though members on Afreeca already had magic resist. Typically, when this is happening, you want to just get the Void Staff anyway. So.
Well, yeah.
No, very, very, very interesting gold difference here, as it's always plus or minus 1K.
Really back and forth, but SKT should be able to get a pretty big win on the power play here of the Baron. Khan just able to do his thing here. Faker is just doing insane damage right now. The guy's got lethal tempo. If he hits you, you know you're going to be taking a bunch of more swipes later on in the fight. And aiming nearly dies to 3 of them. He has to go home, and SKT on the backs of Faker just pushing everybody out of the lane is going to be able to get so many wins here on the map.
Meanwhile, Khan down there in the bottom lane with the Baron buff minions, and this is one of the problems the Afreeca team composition has, is they don't react very well to trying to stop Baron. And so this is finally creating a gold discrepancy between the two teams. As Scuttle Crab taken by Kaiser right there. Okay.
Building into some AP
here. AP, yeah. AP on Kaiser.
Yeah. So.
Which is really weird because the enemy team has majority magic resist. But I suppose Teddy just wants to play out the team fights the way that AP Kaiser would compared to AD Kaiser. Also, Frozen Mallet on Kennen to give him added durability against the Jace, but also allow him...
He becomes a Glacier.
Oh.
Okay. So they need to get the synergy with the Sejuani.
Right. That makes sense.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
Analyst.
Yeah, please forgive me here. And what is the passive between Azir and Rakan? Is it aerial?
Yeah, they gain 50% more movement speed. so they don't, you know, just walk around the map doing nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, actually, no. But even better is they get to fly on top of their other units, so they can actually layer better. So, you know, it's really good for the late game when you have a lot of units on the board.
That sounds horrible. That sounds absolutely terrible.
And let's add in some, you know, 40% 80 AP or something like that.
Okay.
Know? Yeah. Sounds about right
Absolutely
for TFT.
love it. Yeah.
It's kind of the way that balance is going. And, yeah, but the Frozen Mallet, definitely interesting here for this game, League of Legends. So we got a big fight here. UCal actually has to go all the way around. Faker in a bit of trouble is going to get ignited down. One more missile, but he's going to flash it. It does not matter as aiming will be able to respond with that one. Here comes the rest of SKT, though. It's UCal. He's going to get flashed on as well. Khan going to be bopped over the wall. Actually saves him from the feathers. It's kind of interesting. Keen now going to find a piggy as aiming and sending. We're just all over the place in this fight. Effort looking for another knock-up. Not sure about that one. Is able to get out alive, but scary there for just a moment. Teddy finally going to show his face as that weird and wonderful fight ends for a moment.
Teddy was actually...
But now Dread is all alone, and he's got a stopwatch. Now we're looking to turn it around. Big shot blast on Effort and Teddy. They're on the run now. Glid, he's just going to have to get out of there if possible. Dread trying to interrupt that dash out of the Sejuani. Is not going to be able to do that, actually, and nobody else is going to die.
That was, I'm not quite sure how I would define that for you, Valdez. The sequence of events that just occurred before all of our eyes, but it was definitely something else. Let's take a look at how this all actually unfolds. UCal taking a pretty big trade onto Faker, uses the package, and then it looks like Senin is just going to be able to finish him off here. Aiming eventually flashes in, kills Faker. Teleport coming in from Khan as Effort was arriving from the south. UCal eventually flashes and then gets taunted. Khan gets knocked over the wall by Senin on the Alistar. And then the kiting starts to be a little bit weird. Clid arrives to the fight, and it really just looks like no one had any idea what they wanted to do. Effort follows this up by knocking up Senin, but it's an Alistar, and there's no other reliable damage there. And then the replay cut, so it's about all that we got to talk about right there.
Yeah, that's all we were allowed to see, as it was a pretty weird fight, to say the least. Very back and forth. Started between the two mid laners who had some beef from earlier on in the game.
Ooh.
Has picked up that Master's Tooth now.
And Faker extremely close, actually, to completing Rabadon's death cap. He's just sitting on the Lost Chapter.
Yeah. It's definitely a uncommon build here that you would see. No completion on a Lost Chapter item. Just goes straight for AP.
He has the Morellonomicon, so.
Blit's going to go for a bit of a wonky one there. Throws one into the forest, says, I didn't want this ultimate anyway. And aiming did respond with his own Feather Storm.
Jace using the Shock Blast right there doesn't end up actually hitting anything. 4,000 gold deficit almost here. SKT in the lead.
Yeah. Freeca's still kind of posturing for a fight, though. They don't seem very scared to take fights against SKT. Looking for openings and engages if possible. And at the same time, trying to deny any Barons here. Looking about an engage down to Dread, but Subjugate going to come out early. Big one onto Clid, and he immediately goes down, but we got Khan into the backline with that Rakan together. Joining forces, and now aiming with no Feather Storm. Just going to take the damage from Faker in the front line. Everybody else on the team has already run away, as it's a 2-for-1 in favor of SKT.
Yeah, it ends up being a 2-for-1, and remember, Faker still doesn't have his death cap. So this team fight is probably one of the best timings that Afreeca could find for themselves.
They're trying to bait it
game.
now. Trying to bait this Baron. There's no vision. We got that package, though, as UCal trying to go in there, but they burst him down! Penny's able to get in there and get the Zhonyas, and Faker is here for the cleanup. I cannot believe that he actually survived for that long, but SKT perfectly are able to set up the Baron base.
So now they're going to be able to easily convert into this Baron capture, and then it should be pretty easy to end the game off the Baron push. Now, Teddy will not have the Baron bonus, but that is all right.
Faker. Oh,
that was really close,
okay.
yeah.
We're all good. Even Spike gets there on time, but we really got to break down the replay to just show exactly how they were just able to dispatch UCal as fast and as cleanly as they did.
As Clid is just going to clear out his jungle, but let's take a look at how this transpired. So, really surprising that SKT, they wanted to force the agenda, even though they had item completions coming in. Clid got deleted at the very start, but Khan and Effort had such good angles for their engages. The Slicing Maelstrom able to separate the primary carries on Afreeca from the people that were caught in the middle of the crossfire.
Look at this one.
And then right here, UCal, he comes in, and it looked like he was just going to delete Teddy, but he got caught and just burst down before he could do anything else. And then at that point, the remaining members of Afreeca could just go down. Khan.
It was the burst damage from the Kai'Sa too to get in there with
Khan.
Khan.
Oh, that's a very fast.
And I have to hold that thought, is now aiming in a lot of trouble, but the blast plant is, well, they're really happy they added those in whatever season they came in, because they just saved a couple of lives from going down here. But yeah, the burst damage to take down UCal before he could do anything, and then the stopwatch before going down was a really cute play from Teddy. And now with Baron, SKT just trying to put the nail in the coffin. Not too much that Afreeca can do from behind now. Faker's got his death cap, and nobody has been able to touch him this entire game, if we're totally real.
Yeah.
As he has just been outputting insane amounts of damage this entire time.
And it does look like this base push that SK Telecom is coordinating right now. It's like a 1-2-2. We normally don't get to see something like this in pro play.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Is chipping away at the turrets ever so slightly. There's still a minute and a half also remaining on the Baron, so Khan, he's going to be able to raise this bottom turret here for sure. Keen, try as he might to get back, it's just not going to be in time. Cock Blast ends up whiffing. Teddy, remember, he's the one without the Baron buff, and so that's why Clid is having to hug around mid. Faker raises the top tier 3. This is a systematic deconstruction of Afreeca right now.
Yeah. You can write thesis papers about this one. It's really nice and clean. And they're not wasting any time with this one. Now back on aiming. Effort waiting for that in. It's not going to go for it yet, as Faker is going to do a bunch of damage. Nearly gets burst down. Teddy helping out with the kill to take out Zenon, who was in his ultimate. Khan finally, systematically, will take out the first inhibitor. We're going for a team play from Faker. As he's able to get back with full health here, the second inhibitor will fall. It looks like SKT maybe not even going to look at that third inhibitor, looking for the push into the mid lane. Look at the poke damage. In goes Teddy way into the back line as Effort, not sure where he's going. That was a bit of a mistake, but might not matter as the turrets are falling anyway here. And it is getting pretty low, but SKT with pretty low health bars are also going to decide we are not ready to take the win just yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately for SK Telecom, they actually don't get the final top inhibitor. So, 7v5 not enabled. They did raise one of the Nexus turrets. And so they're going to take a little bit of a breather. Recall, probably get the Crown Dragon right here. Let's take a look at... fantastic.
He got 6 MS.
Yeah, amazing.
6?
6.
I think that's because he was in combat, right?
Yeah, he was in combat.
But
So,
still, I mean...
Effort looking for an opening there just outside the base. Didn't have flash, didn't have a way to really get in there. Khan had already killed, or he was about to kill the inhibitor. Almost a 10,000 gold lead here now for SKT. Phantom Dancer on Khan, as well as a BF sword. So probably going to be Guardian Angel next item if we even get there. Luden's Echo finally complete now for Faker on the Azir. Zhonya's Hourglass also completed. And it looks like Teddy's actually going to be going Luden as well, most likely. I don't know why players refuse to go Leandri's Storm out. It's really surprising.
It is weird.
It is a very sleeper, OP busted item.
And players in Korea specifically, they stick to what they know and mix within, you know, a couple, maybe 2, 3 other items.
No, even around the world, Leandri's just isn't valued. I think that people think that you need Rylai's with it, but no, you really don't.
Oh, okay, we're flashing in here, going in on top of Keen. Teddy doesn't have the damage yet, though, but Ember with the big follow-up. Faker getting 1v2 by aiming, but they switch spots.
Oh!
And Newcal still alive. Keen is as well. They burst down. The biggest damage on the side of SKT, but the burst is going to come out of Teddy this time around as he takes out that Trundle.
Aiming,
and the base.
Clip!
Oh, he's going to interrupt it. That's going to be perfect. Can Khan actually end it, though, is the question.
Well, Teddy's guaranteeing the
Teddy
insurance.
Gonna go in, lands that Q, has that Zhonya's, and will be chipping him down one by one as Khan. And aiming, poor aiming, has to go 1v2. Khan, he's dancing. He knows they won. GG is going to go the way of SKT in a very flashy game number 1.
And, well, it was an extremely, extremely slow start to this game. And a mid-transition was also relatively slow, but all it took was SK Telecom.
You know, it's got to be a strong one, as that is a strong amount of damage here. 29,000 flat from the side of Faker. Really put on the hurt. I think he and Teddy did a fantastic job from the carry positions in this game specifically. There were a lot of fights that were all over the place that required some super high-level mechanics to actually, you know, take the lead and win the fights, and that's why it really boiled down to Faker versus Teddy for me for MVP.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Faker. Yeah, he's yeah.
As did I.
Yeah, we are men of respect, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For the Faker.
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to have a bit of a break before we get into game number 2. We'll see who can take the next one after this commercial break.